Good evening, beautiful people. I'm going to invite you to do something. I want you to turn to someone beside you and tell them, good evening, beautiful person.
Good evening.
So in the community where I serve, we have this wonderful tradition every single Sunday that we stand up and we literally pass the peace to one another. And when we pass the peace to one another, it is our way of saying, I'm not just saying, hey, how are you doing? Or, oh my gosh, I love your bang. Or, what did you do this weekend? But when we pass the peace to one another, we're in essence recognizing that there is something beautiful that is etched on everyone's face, something beautiful etched on everyone's heart. There is something beautiful etched in everyone's life that helps them to live a life-giving life. And so this evening, we're going to begin by recognizing the beauty in one another by passing the peace. So this is what I'm going to invite you to do. I'm going to invite you to not be quiet. I'm going to invite you to stand. I'm going to invite you to shake someone's hand, hug someone's neck, get to know someone around you, and just say, peace be with you.
Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Got you already. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Good to see you. Thank you. Hi. Peace be with you.
So I'm going to invite you to find your mat. You can be seated if you'd like. So as I've been thinking about this evening, I've been thinking about how probably in each and every one of our lives we experience a breaking point. That last argument when you know there's a breaking point in a relationship, that 1 week that you feel so purposeless on your job that you realize is a breaking point with your career or what you thought would be your vocation. And I have to own my truth in this space to tell you about one of my breaking points that happened about 2 weeks ago. After all of the events, all of the violence, all of the acts of hatred and racial oppression that were displayed in Charlottesville. After a very difficult year, Charlottesville felt like a breaking point. A breaking point in how we tell the true story about race or don't tell the true story about race in our country. A breaking point about who's valued and maybe those who are not always valued. Individuals who don't feel as though they are honored in a country that they call the place of their birth. A breaking point in the ways in which we don't make the invisible institutions, practices, policies, things that just hurt and tear at communities, visible. I'm certain that if I were to go around this room and to invite you and to share with me a breaking point in your life, you would be able to readily share one. But if I stand in my truth this evening, my breaking point, Charlottesville, and all the little Charlottesville that I see happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of my existence. And so I'm not welcoming us into despair, because this probably seems like the most sad way to start off an invitation to this practice. I'm not welcoming us into despair. I'm not welcoming us even into recent events. I'm not welcoming us into statistics that cause our hearts to break. Instead, I am inviting you into a sacred space. And this sacred space looks like this. I want you for the next hour to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. To be present to yourself. To be present to your breaking points. To be present to maybe the breaking point of the people around you. The person that you said, peace be with you, or hello, beautiful person. What would it look like if this evening, instead of being distracted by all of the things that have us going this direction or looking at Facebook feeds or the newest posts on Instagram, that for just a little while in the midst of breaking points in our lives, in our cities, in our country, in the world, that we would choose to be so present to being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I want to tell you why I want to invite us into this particular space. Because peace isn't something that happens by accident. And peace is not some ethereal notion that just kind of floats above our heads. And peace isn't something that is unattainable. Peace is something that we cultivate. Peace comes out of our hard work. Peace is something that we can begin to do right here on our mat. Because when you find peace, being present to yourself, asking yourself hard questions about your breaking points, asking, are there moments in my life when I perpetuate little Charlottesville? Maybe in the classroom, or at my job, or with my friends, when we're at dinner parties. Or maybe when we are present to, maybe I'm just so tired, I need to learn what it is like to let someone offer me a gift, and to be the beneficiaries of grace and of mercy. Maybe this evening is about being present to that nudge that says, you need to spend more time listening to the stories of others, as opposed to speaking or trying to tell the stories of others. Being present to, maybe this is not the season to be silent. This might be your season to speak up. So this evening we're inviting you to be stretched. Not stretched in a way that will harm you or break you, but stretched in a way that might grow you, that in being stretched you might stretch yourself into your best self. Not to a breaking point, but to a point that we might actually, as we look around the room and all of these beautiful people who are gathered here, because we begin to cultivate peace within, the peace within will be leaky, and it will be a peace that changes the world. So I want to thank you in advance for being courageous enough to show up, to find your mat, and to get to work.
Thank you, Lisa. The reason why this is all happening tonight was because of one thing that was supported by many things. And the one thing that started it was Cam's picture of one of the Obamas going through social media, and my immediate text said, Gab, we got to do something. Charmin, we got to do something. And in the spark of that moment, all of the little things that needed to make this happen started to come alive. We said, who could we do this? Who could I do this with that would get it? And Patrice came into my world. And I knew that she was exactly the right person to lead this, because I've seen her heart on the outside. I've seen her doing some incredible work, some courageous work. And even tonight, we were talking about, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? And I said, this has never been done before. We're pioneers. You all are pioneers. And so I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all of those folks that made this happen tonight, Charmin and Gab. And the band, I think, is still en route. Maybe they'll show up. I'm not sure. Thank you to Patrice. And thank you to all of you who saw this going through social media or heard it from a friend and said, I need to be here. I need my people to be here. This is going to be something that I need to talk to my friends about if they can't be here tomorrow or the next day. We're going to be talking about this for a long time to come, hopefully. Patrice, you want to?
Thank you all for being here. This is an amazing event. There's a lot of crazy in the world, and so what better place to find some peace than among community and on our mat. So we're really excited about tonight.
Yeah. So as this is a yoga class, we do want to invite you to really be mindful about what your body is feeling tonight, not versus what it was doing last week or what it should be doing a year from now. This is a healing moment, and so when Lisa was talking about stretching yourself, absolutely go to that place where you feel yourself expanding, but also being really gentle with yourself and ginger with yourself so that you can monitor the emotions, you can monitor your physicality, so that at the end of the day, this experience is cultivating wellness of body, of mind, and of heart. So again, make choices that are right for you. We have some amazing assistants. I don't know where they are. I don't see them standing. Oh, they're on the sides. We have some amazing assistants. If you all will stand up just so that folks can see you. So if you have anything that you want to tell them if they approach you, please tell them exactly what you need or you don't need. They're here to support your journey tonight. Thank you all for being here. We're going to get started. Lie onto your backs. And you can lie flat on out onto your backs, much like you would be in Shavasana, or you can bring the soles of your feet together in a butterfly pose, letting your knees hang softly open. And just start to breathe. You might even take your hands to your belly so that not only can you feel your breath from the inside out, you can also feel your breath from the outside in. If it feels safe and comfortable to you, you can close your eyes. If not, just keep them soft. And the first time that I walked into this room, I know that every emotion lit up for me. And I know I wasn't alone. So really being mindful and present to whatever's rising inside of you, whatever Lisa's words invoked in you, whatever these visions on the wall inspired inside of you. As you begin to deepen your breath, you begin to create a pathway for the road inside that leads to the place of the heart, that leads to the place of self, that leads to that collaboration of loving self, of listening to self.
I say to you tonight that some issues are not left versus right or liberal versus conservative. They are right versus wrong.
Because as Lisa mentioned, it's about peace. It's about finding it inside of ourselves because nothing is happening out there that isn't happening inside of each and every one of us. And it is the practice of going inside, cultivating the discipline of peace.
What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
Because we are human, it is a practice. This isn't a perfect. This is a practice every single day of waking and rising and waking and rising and recommitting to that internal watching and listening inside of ourselves. Am I showing up in love today? Am I showing up in peace today? Am I loving myself? Am I loving my neighbors as I love myself? Am I modeling the collaboration of my heart and my mind and my soul? That is the prayer every single day.
We must shock this nation. nation with the power of mercy. We must shock this nation and fight for justice for all. We can't give up on the heart of our democracy. Not now, not ever.
Take your hands to your outer thighs, your outer knees, and use your arm strength to bring their inner thighs and knees together. And then squeeze your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. What I love about the community events is that we get to see folks that we normally don't get to see, that may be in a different age bracket, or may live in a different city. And I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing all these little ones. I'm not sure of their ages, but maybe they started. How old are you, little one? Are you 9, 8, 7, 10, somewhere? 6. This is why we do the internal work for the 6-year-olds who are learning how to navigate this world that is confusing and sometimes scary. Roll over onto your right side and very slowly press yourself on up into hands and knees. So place your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Facing the Obamas. Don't face the construction. Facing the Obamas. Once you get into that tabletop pose, set your foundation first. Spread your fingertips wide. And begin to collaborate with gravity. So not just dumping into gravity, but harness that energy so that as much as you press down, the much as you give, you start to get. And feel your shins and your feet connect as well. And then recommit to a breath that has some rhythm and some depth. And it's from the place of foundation and from our breath that you start to move in any way that starts to call you from inside out. You can press the floor away, round the spine. You can sway those hips from side to side. Opening up some space in the shoulders, opening some space in the hips here. If you're confused about what to do, have a look around. We're all in this together. That's the beauty of community. We can inspire each other. We're not here to compete. We're not here to do it better than. We're here to catch an idea, a glimmer of hope, and let that lead to an inspiration inside of us. And then it becomes a ripple effect, one after the other. Take 1 or 2 more rounds of breath.
And I know you feel like
And when you feel like your body is a little bit more spacious and it is balanced from right to left and left to right, then recommit those hands to the mat, tuck your toes under, take a deep inhale here, get your spine as long as you can get it, and as you exhale, press your hips back and up into a downward facing dog. So begin to lift your knees up away from the mat and pike those hips up. And again, recommit it to a foundation of hands and feet. Recommit to a sustainable breath. And then you can bend one knee at a time, pedaling out like you would a bicycle. Swing those hips as you're feeling called. Feeling those shoulders almost dip one at a time. The practice of yoga, the physical practice, the poses were created to make a body that was more flexible, that was more sustainable, more receptive to stillness and sitting. So that's why these moments of opening shoulders and hips and legs are so important. When your body is feeling more receptive to this stillness, let your strength meet your structure. So feel your navel draw your sit bones up. Feel your inner thighs reach your thigh bones back. Feel the back of the heart spread open wide so that the breath can get all the way in. And take one more inhale here. And a big exhale out. On your next inhale, look to the front edge of your mat and take as many steps as you need to get to the top, one after the other. And create some space. Get your feet about hip distance apart and hang forward. Keep it soft, bend in your knees, and you can hold on to opposite elbows. You can feel gravity start to traction your spine from the sit bones to the crown of the head. Feel the backs of the legs start to breathe more spaciously. And then begin to release your hands all the way down to the floor. Bend your knees even more and roll up to stand. Drag your arms, drag your head. Everything is slow to arrive. Bone by bone, you begin to piece yourself together into an architecture that is fueled by gravity. Reach your hands way up overhead. Now pause here. Feel your toes tethered in between what is below and what is above. And everything inside of you is connected between the planet, Mother Earth, and gravity and the ethers above. Let it fuel through your heart. Let it flow through your center. Let there be no mistake about what you stand for, because you are resourced and you are connected. Take a deep inhale here. Reach those hands even higher. And exhale, pull your hands to your heart. Take a collective breath in. And then release those hands alongside the body. On your inhale, hands stretch to the sky. Reach up, stretch high. And fold all the way down to your mat. Bend your knees as you need to. On your next inhale, lengthen and lift your heart halfway up. So take your hands to your shins and lengthen. And then exhale, fold in. Do that 2 more times. Lengthen and lift halfway up. Straighten those legs, hearts open wide. Soften those knees as you fold in. Last time, hands to shins, open the collarbones, lift up, and exhale, soften your knees and fold in. 1 more time, roll to stand, everything drags, arms drag, head drags, roll through until you're fully upright. As you reach the hands toward the ceiling, pause there 1 more time, feeling yourself committed and connected. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, pull your hands to your heart. Collective breath in here, and exhale, release those hands, palms forward, let them go. Inhale, hands high, take them up, stretch high. Exhale, fold all the way to the mat. On your next inhale, lengthen halfway up. Now bend your knees and step back, downward facing dog. Take that pike-like shape. The sit bones are high, the hands and feet are low. Big breath in, and big breath out. On your inhale, shift forward into plank pose so your shoulders are over your hands. Now for some, you might want to lower the knees to the mat if you're feeling a strain in your back. For some, you might even want to lower onto your forearms if you're feeling any pain in your wrists. But wherever you are, you're going to be here for about 5 more breaths. So let your legs come alive with power. And again, harness gravity, so press through your mat. Can you get a sense of if your legs are working just as much as your arms? Can you get a sense if your head is reaching just as much forward as your heels are reaching back? Take a big inhale here and come all the way down to the floor as you exhale. Now interlace your hands onto the small of your back. So you interlace your knuckles and stretch your knuckles toward your feet. As you stretch the hands toward your feet, lift your collarbones a few inches off your mat. And then exhale, come on down. Keep the interlace of the hands and do that again. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your chest, reach those knuckles back. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, lower down. Release those hands, take them under the shoulders. Press into table pose. And take it back into child's pose, sit bones to heels. You can keep your knees together or you can widen them the width of your mat. But if those sit bones reach towards the back of the mat, your hands reach toward the front. And symbolically, this is a shape of surrender. And so I ask you on this night, at least for our time here together, as Lisa mentioned earlier, there's lots of stuff that can get in the way of listening and watching and feeling what is happening inside of us. There's a lot of places you could have been tonight and a lot of things you could be doing. So I invite you to lay all that stuff down here. Surrender it to your mat so you can be fully present not only to this experience, but to each other. You've got 2 more steady breaths. And on your next breath in, slowly rise back up into table pose, hands and knees. Tuck your toes and exhale, take it back into down dog. Tighten those hips back and up. As your heartbeat starts to rise and as the blood starts to flow more freely, likely it'll catch a hold of an emotion or a feeling or a sensation or a thought. I invite you again to use the power and the resource of your breath to monitor what's happening on the inside. And take that breath wherever you need to take it. Big inhale here. Open up your mouth, big exhale, let it go. Look to the front edge of your mat and walk it all the way to the top. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, hands to shins, collarbones open. Exhale, fold and soften your knees. And then press through the mat to come up to stand. Rise, hands reach to the ceiling. And exhale, hands, heart, center. Take a big breath in here. Big exhale, let it go. Release those hands. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, hands low, fold all the way down. Inhale, lengthen and lift your heart halfway up. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Shifting forward into plank pose. Come all the way down onto your bellies. Keep the hands right where they are, but put very little weight into the hands. And as you lift the heart, lift the chest. Lift from the back of the heart, lift from the power behind you. And exhale, lower down. Again, try not to even use your hands here. Inhale, lift your hearts up. Exhale, lower down. Last time, lift your hearts up, open wide from shoulder to shoulder. Exhale, lower down. Place those hands back down and press through the mat into table pose. Hands and knees. And exhale, tuck your toes and take it back into downward facing dog. Breathe. Feel that breath flow through you. Feel it flow through your power. Feel it flow through that sense of ease. Feel it flow through your mind. Feel it flow through every conduit inside of you that pieces you together bit by bit. You got one more breath here. Breathe in together. And breathe out together. Look to the front edge of your mat and exhale, walk it to the top. Lengthen halfway up. Exhale and fold. Roll this down. Take your time. Everything drags. Arms drag, head drags until you come up to stand. Reach your hands all the way up to the sky. And then as you exhale, sit back into chair pose and swoop those hands back behind you. And on your next inhale, straighten your legs, send the hands to the sky. As you exhale, bend your knees, sit back into that chair pose and swoop your hands. And then start to move with your breath. And you begin to move into this meditation of movement, of surrender, of release. Those things, those breaking points that somehow, in some ways, themselves in our cells and our bones. That's what causes our disease. That's what causes our own internal separation. So as much as you can tonight, Release those from your fingertips, whatever the residual of your breaking point is that's getting in the way. Sweep it off. And it's not to say that there won't be other breaking points, there will be. But for this moment, your practice, your self-care is releasing that which gets in the way from the true path of love. Take about 3 or 4 more, as slowly as you'd like. You can even close your eyes if that feels safe to you. And on your next round of inhales, where you're standing tall, stay there and we'll meet you. We'll wait for you. Reach those hands. One more inhale. Hands to heart center as you exhale. Take a big, big breath here and release those hands as you breathe out. Inhale, hands high. Take them up, stretch high. Exhale, fold all the way down to your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Now on your inhale, stretch your right leg out behind you. Pause here for just a moment. So your right leg is high, your left leg is low. Your right leg is expanded and long, your left leg is stabilizing. Take a big breath in. And then draw your knee to your chest and step through between your hands. Good. And then come on up, send the hands to the sky. You're in high lunge. You're on the ball of that back foot. And as you reach the hands to the ceiling in this forward-facing lunge, you begin to tap into your foundation again. So feel your feet. Feel the power of your right glute come alive so that it helps stabilize that right knee that is in line with your toes. Feel your tailbone lengthening down so much that you have a little bit more room to find center. And again, you are rooted in between what is below and what is above. Beautiful job. Touch your palms overhead and exhale. Take the hands all the way down to the mat. And then from here, we'll take a twist. So keep your left hand down, stretch your right hand to the ceiling. And you can always lower that back knee down if you feel like your balance is shaky or unsteady. Twisting out from the center of you those things that which are not of you. Other people's words, other people's ideas, other people's notions of who you should be or how you should act. Anything that gets in the way of trusting self, of knowing self, of believing self, of loving self. Take a big breath in. Take your hands to the floor. Now pick up that right foot and sweep it all the way back up behind you. That 3-legged dog again. Right leg high. And place your right foot down to the mat into downward facing dog. Right foot to meet the left. Take a big breath in. Open up your mouth, big exhale, let it go. Other side, sweep your left leg up behind you and pause here. Feel the right side of you commit to stability and feel the left side of you seek out flexibility. Take a big breath in. Draw your knee to chest and step through between your hands. Stay on the ball of that back foot. Feel your legs come alive with power, then rise, hands to the ceiling. And what do? We start with the foundation, so feel your feet. Anytime on or off your mat where you're feeling shaky or uncertain, find your feet. Remember Mother Earth. Remember the pull of gravity, and that again is that harnessing up. So feel your legs come alive, your glutes come alive. Feel your tailbone long so you can seek out a little bit more of your center. And then stretch from your heart. Hands reaching up. One more inhale here. And exhale, hands all the way down to the floor. We'll take that twist on this side. So right hand stays down, left hand stretches toward the ceiling. And again, if that back knee comes down, fabulous. Lisa said something in the beginning of class, which is a reflection of an organization that I work with. And one of the mottos of that organization is stretch to reach. So we stretch on the inside, we stretch our boundaries, we stretch what we think our bubble is. We get out of that so we can reach to each other. Take a deep breath in and hands down to the mat. Good, pick up that left leg and sweep it back. Three-legged dog, left leg as high as you can get it. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful job. On your next inhale, shift forward into plank pose, shoulders over hands. Come all the way down onto the floor as you breathe out. And into that cobra pose again. Lifting through your heart. You can press through the hands a little bit to get higher if you like. And then exhale, come on back down to your bellies and hearts. Press to hands and knees on your breath in. Hands and knees, and exhale, tuck your toes, sit bones back and up, downward facing dog. Take one breath in and one breath out. On your next inhale, look forward, and then exhale, step to the top of the mat. Lengthen halfway up. Exhale and fold. Rise to stand, take it as high as you can get it. Now pause here for just a moment, hands reaching. And then slowly begin to widen your hands out. Now everyone starts to move into the center. Don't make space. Close the gaps between everybody so hands can come to shoulders. So on the outskirts, move in. On the outskirts, move in. Let there be no break in the links. There we go. You mean you have to touch somebody? Yes! We have to lean on each other. Right into your left foot, pick up your right leg. Now just for a moment, lift up your hands away from the neighbor. It's no good. It's harder. It's harder. Go back to your friends. Hold on tight. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, sweep your right leg back behind you as you tilt forward into warrior 3. So you make a T shape with your body. I promise you, you would not be as steady where you used to be on your own. Can you feel your neighbor's heartbeat? Can you feel their breath? Can you feel your support? Can you feel yourself showing up a little more because you're connected to someone else? Come on up, bring the knee with you. Now cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Don't break the ranks, keep a hold. Yeah, close the gap even more. Get off your mat, get uncomfortable. Lisa said get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And we're gonna take her lead. So cross the ankle over the thigh. Now begin to sit back as if you're gonna sit into a chair pose. Good, hold on to each other. Feel that opening in your right hip. I promise it's no fun doing this alone. Big breath. I'm gonna give you a mic, Matt Whitley. I'm gonna give you a mic. Inhale, come on up. Keep a hold of your neighbor, but release your foot. Good, and then changing sides. Place your right foot down to the mat. Now shift your weight into the right foot, lift your left knee. We're gonna take that T shape first, so pause here, feel the balance, feel the connection, and begin to shift forward into that T shape. And it's not like you have to compromise anything inside of you to support each other because you get that much support back. It's a collaboration. It's a working together. Come on up. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Begin to bend that right knee. Draw your sit bones back as if you're going to sit back into a chair. Open through that outer left hip. You're bending and stretching at an intersection of your legs and your belly. You're stretching here at an intersection of how you walk your path and the knowing of where you're going, what you've been through, and who you are. So breathe over that intersection so that there's nothing getting in the way of the information one place to the other. Come on up to stand. Carry that left knee with you. And exhale, park your left foot next to your right. Thank your neighbors. And come back to your mat. Do you want them standing or sitting?
Standing.
When you make your way back into your mat, come into mountain pose and reconnect to your breath. You adjust up there while I can.
All right, that's it. And start with inhale, arms up. And exhale, arms down. One more. Inhale, arms up. Reach up. Exhale, arms down. Now let's all turn to the right side of the room, starting at the top of your back. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, take a huge step out with your right foot. Arms come down parallel to the floor. You're setting up for warrior two. So spin your left toe towards the front. Your back foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Bend into your front knee. Your left knee, back over your left knee. Nice, beautiful, y'all. Okay, smile. Smile. Yes. Breathe. Feel strong. Feel your strength. That's how we get through life, is our strength. The ground is supporting. Feel it. Trust it. All right. On your next inhale, straighten your front leg. Arms come up. Breathe. Nice. Exhale, bend into your front knee. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, reach up. Front leg straight. Exhale, bend in. 1 more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. Nice, y'all. Now reach towards Obama like you're about to shake his hand. Reach. And now take your left arm down. Maybe it's pushing out your left knee. Right arm looks straight up. Yes. Still bending into your front knee. Beautiful, y'all. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. And gently come back up through warrior two. Bend into your toes. Feel powerful. And bend your toes towards the wall, your left toes. Inhale your arms straight up. And start to send your hips back and fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you need. Release. Feel the stretch. Breathing here. Maybe tip a little more weight into your toes. Connecting with your breath becomes connecting to your true spirit. Take one more breath and fold. And now bring your hands to your hips. Engage your core, belly towards your spine, and slowly rise up. Hello. Now spin your right toes towards the construction. Back foot is parallel. We're setting up for warrior two on this side. Bend into your front knee. Arms are up parallel to the floor. Nice, y'all. Breathing here. Feeling strong. Warriors in the battle.
Arms are engaged, legs are engaged. Your bodies are doing amazing things today. We are doing amazing things today. You are amazing. Feel your power, feel your strength. And it's okay to dance. Hey, this is a playlist. Come on, y'all. All right, one more breath here. On your next inhale, straighten your front legs, arms come up, breathe up. Exhale, bend in. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Now reach, reach, reach. And we're coming into our side bend. So your right arm comes down. Maybe it's pressing out your right knee, right leg. Left arm reaches up. Your gaze can either be with a lifted hand or straight ahead. Breathing here. We are unstoppable. I cannot do it all, but we are unstoppable. Nothing that happens in the world can stop us, can stop your power that you feel right now. One more breath. And come back up to warrior two. Finish the pose, finish strong. Nice, y'all. And now, turn your toes towards the Brahma on the right. Arms are up. Exhale into your hold. Hips go straight back. Hold in. Release. Maybe your toes are pointing in towards each other. Breathing here. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Now bring your hands back to your hips. Core is engaged. And we'll all rise back up. Nice work, y'all. We made it to the mat. I don't know about y'all, but I love the mat. So you can come down onto your mat in Shavasana. Head facing, construction, legs facing. Breathing here. If you lost your breath, reconnecting to your breath. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. What is your purpose? Maybe that's something you think about. How can you help in this day and age? What drives you? What's your passion? Take 2 more breaths here, connecting with the floor. Connecting with your breath. Release any tension in your body. Let it go. One more breath. Now bend your right knee. Bring it in towards your chest. Maybe you interlace your fingers at your chin when you're moving toes. Pulling it in. In life, we hold a lot of stress in our hips. Life issues come right to our hips. What can you release in this pose, in this moment? Staying with your breath. Take 1 more breath. And now bend your right knee, or left knee. Left toe of your foot comes to the mat. And we're setting up for figure 4. So take your right ankle over your left thigh. That's it. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh, pulling in your left leg. Maybe you're pressing out your right knee. Another good hip opener. We did the variation of this standing with our partners. How does it feel now? Breathe Breathing here. Breathing into your hips.
We will be strong. We will be strong. Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against.
Breathing here, connect to your breath.
Women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings.
One more breath, y'all.
Movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition
And
enough.
now,
Justice
release
for all,
your
justice
right
is
leg.
enough. One son died, the spirit is revisiting us. True and
And
living
both
in
legs
us.
down.
Resistance is
Sorry.
us.
Take your left knee into your chest. Hold it
That's
in.
why we walk through
Winner
purpose
moving pose.
with our
Right leg
hands up.
can be long or mid. Whatever feels better for you.
And we stand up, shots be on the ground, the camera panned up, king pointed
Hold it
up,
in.
and we ran up.
Your left knee. Maybe this side is different. No judgment. Just noticing. Breathing here. One thing that yoga helps us to learn is breathing through it. Whatever pose is getting difficult, maybe think about your breathing. Is it shallow or is it... One more breath. And now, bend your right knee, right fold your foot to the mat, cross your left ankle over. Setting up for figure 4 on this side. Interlace your fingers behind your right side. Maybe you're pressing out your left knee with your left elbow. Breathing here.
For every man, woman, and child, even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, hero, to become a hero. Facing the league of justice, his power was the people. Enemy is legal, a king became regal. Some facing Jim Crow under a raw ego, the biggest weapon.
Breathing here.
Our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany.
Yes, y'all.
Now we write
One more breath.
in
That's
history.
it.
Because one can win a war individually. Can take the wisdom of the elders, the young people.
And slowly release your
We
body.
call victory, the coming of the Lord. My eyes have seen the glory.
Soles of your feet come to the mat. And bring your knees into your chest. Give your knees a nice hug. A reset after a pretty intense hip opener.
We will be strong. We will be strong.
And now release your legs long on the mat. Time to work on our core. What moves us, what guides us, all of us. Slowly take your right leg straight up so the sole of your foot is reaching towards the ceiling. Alright, and slowly lower your right leg down and start lifting your left leg. Breathing here. It seems simple, but it gets intense real quick. Switching legs on your breath. Inhale and exhale. Press your palms into the mat, helping with your stability. Our core is guiding so much of us. Connected. Y'all look great. Come on, you got it.
I don't condemn, I don't convert.
Right. 2 more each side.
This is the calling, have you heard?
Spread a little love.
Bring all the lovers to the fold.
Nice, y'all. And release your legs down to the mat. Put your toes towards
towards the front of the room. Reach your arms overhead.
All the days I've been
Like a good morning stretch, nice belly stretch. Pointing your toes, reaching through your fingers, pulling both hands apart.
through the books I've looked.
Nice job. And now flex your feet back towards your face. And if you have any low back issues, feel free to skip this, or otherwise you're going to take a deep breath in. And exhale, sit straight up, reaching your fingers towards your feet. And fold over your legs. Releasing here.
All we need is love.
All right, now
Nobody stop us.
spin onto your belly. So meet everyone with your head facing the front, feet towards the
Free
back.
spirits
On your belly. Legs long, arms long.
Few I share again.
With your arms long by your side, maybe take them out like a V. Being mindful of your neighbor, palms down.
To fight.
Maybe bring your legs together. That feels comfortable. Pressing into the tops of your feet. We're slowly going to set up our low
Nothing
pose.
we can't cure.
Pressing your palms down into the mat or onto the floor. Slowly lift your head and chest. And now bring your fingers up to spider to fingers so you're on your fingertips. And now lift both of your legs up together. Yes, y'all. Yes. And now reach your arms up. Both of them up and back. See if you can spin your feet down. Thumbs up. Yes, lifting, reaching. You got this. Opening up your chest, opening up your heart. Who can you open up your heart to? And be vulnerable and authentic with. Take one more breath. See if you can lift up just a tiny bit more. Beautiful, y'all. And slowly release everything down. Take your right ear to the mat. And breathe. And now, slowly finish. Bring your head back to neutral. Bring both arms by your chest, forearms down on the mat. And slowly bend your right knee and reach behind with your right hand to grab the outside of your right foot, pulling it in. Left arm stays slanted down, left forearm is down. Nice, y'all. Breathing here.
When you're down and the bad times seem to follow you around, and you got no reason to show
And maybe you can lift your chest while doing it.
let go.
If not, you're still getting the benefit of the stretch. Yes, y'all.
And you told your
Take one more
voice
breath.
to a telephone and radio's on.
And slowly release your leg down. Take your left ear to the mat. Arms are long and breathe. Relax your legs, relax your arms. Reset. How does your body feel? How do you feel? Connecting with yourself first, so you know how to connect with others. And we'll set up to the other side, bringing your chin back to neutral, forearms down by your chest. This time bend your left knee, reach behind, and grab your left foot,
Fingers through your
feeling the stretch in your quads.
And maybe you can lift your chest. Or maybe your chest is down. This is your practice. Do what feels best for you. Only you can determine how you show up in the world. Do it in a way that's authentic for you. Breathe in here.
Just how it fit. I'll have it fit.
Take one more breath. And slowly release your leg. And take your right ear back to the mat. Breathing here, reset. This time bend both knees. Bring your chin back to neutral. Bend both knees. The features you reach around and grab for the outside of your feet. Coming into bow.
Just be strong.
Breathing here. Let's set this up slowly. Inhale.
Just be strong.
Exhale.
I'll be strong.
And now pressing,
Just be
picking your
strong.
feet up, your arms lift, maybe your chest lift. Breathing. Go where you want to go. Listen to your body. Chest opener, throat opener. Your heart and your voice are so important in all your interactions with anyone you meet. One more breath though. And slowly release everything down. Yes, y'all just did that. You did that. If you're not proud of yourself, I'm proud of you. Okay? Breathe in here. Breathe back. One more breath. And now bring your hands by your chest, palms planting into the mat, and slowly press yourself back into child's pose. Either take your knees out the width of the mat or knees together. Walking your hands up toward your front edge of your mat, making this an active pose. Release, reset. In order to show up in the world, you have to take care of yourself first. Do what you need to do to be the best you, so that you can show up for others. Take one more breath, child's pose. And slowly walk your hands back, coming up into a seated position. Take your legs out in front. Legs long out in front. Take your right leg out to the right. Left sole of your foot comes in to your right thigh. Legs wide. Inhale your arms up. Reach up, twist over your right leg, and slowly hinge forward. Bend your knee as much as you can in order to make contact with your right foot. Breathing here. Spine is long. Shoulder blades down your back. Take one more breath. And slowly make your way back up. Arms back up. Breathe up. And release your arms down. Lift up your legs. Left leg is long. Right foot comes in to your left side. Inhale your arms up. Twist over your left leg. And slowly fold.
You've done the work of your practice today. We're just slowly heading towards Shavasana. You did the work of showing up, of working on yourself. Take one more breath. And slowly come back up. Arms lift up. Exhale, arms down. Take both soles of your feet to the mat. Knees are bent. Take your hands to your knees. And slowly start to roll back. Release your head and back to the mat. Take your legs long. You have made it to Shavasana. Take your breath.
You know, my Sunday look like real. The idea held by generations of citizens who believe that America is a constant work in progress, who believe that loving this country requires more than singing its praises or avoiding uncomfortable truths. It requires the occasional disruption, the willingness to speak out for what is right, to shake up the status quo. That's America. Look at us in streets. We are Lewis and Clark. Sacagawea pioneers who braved followed by a stampede of farmers and miners and entrepreneurs and hustlers. That's our spirit. That's who we are. We're soldiers of truth and family who hate. Women who can do as much as any man and then some. And we're soon to be Anthony, who shook the system until the law reflected that truth. That is our character. We're able to throw away our ships and reach each other. The humble man is journey to reach. Holocaust survivors, Soviet defectors, the lost boys who stand. We're the hopeful strivers who cross the real way because we want our kids to know a better life, and that's how we We're the slaves who built whiteness and the economy of the South. We're the land cans and cowboys who opened up the West. The countless laborers who laid rail and raised skyscrapers and organized the workers' rights. We're the fresh-faced PIs who fought to liberate economy. And we're the Tuskegee Airmen and the Navajo Code Talkers and the Japanese Americans who fought for this country even as their own liberty has been denied. We're firefighters who rushed into those buildings on 9/11. Volunteers who signed up for We're the gay Americans who blood ran in the streets of San Francisco and New York. This is blood ran down this city. We are storytellers, writers, poets, artists who abhor unfairness and despise hypocrisy and give voice to the voiceless and tell truth that needs to be told. It doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or where you love. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white, or Hispanic, or Asian, or Native American, or young, or old, or rich, or poor, able, disabled, gay, or straight. You can make it here in America. I believe we can see this future together. Because we are not as divided as our brothers and sisters. We're not sweet the sound that says, oh,
Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Feel the breath move through your fingers and your toes. Feel yourself come alive in this new body born from your practice. Slowly start to roll to your side and get on up. And ladies and gentlemen, Raleigh's own Helping Hands mission. You can sit, you can stand, you can dance. It's running late, so if you need to go, that's okay too. Mrs. Wiggins, can I get you to come on out for just 1 sec? She's the chief officer there. She keeps all that happening. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for coming. Love you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you, Larry. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for coming tonight, for being pioneers and setting a new standard for Raleigh, for the community events that we do. I want to thank again Cam for being so gracious in holding our space. Charmin and Gab especially, and all the folks who are running through social media, thank you so much. Who else should I thank? I should thank Patrice for being my partner in crime. Where did you go, Patrice? I don't see you anywhere. There you are. If you haven't had a chance to check out her new studio, it's called Colors of Yoga. It's right downtown. We're actually neighbors. She is just across the street, and she's just opened Raleigh's first inclusive yoga studio. So we are so grateful. of her courageous journey to get to being a studio owner, because it's no small feat. What's that? Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. And Lisa, the powerhouse back there. Lisa Yeboah of Southeast Raleigh Table. I first met her maybe 2 months back, and then I got to re-meet her over this event, and I knew that whatever words I were to say tonight were coming from her. I was going to take her lead because she's got a direct channel to all that's above, and I'm so grateful for your presence here, and thank you so much. Thank you to the assistants that came out tonight, the yoga teachers in our community. So often in our yoga community, we kind of stay on our own block. And what I love about these events is not only do you all come out and come together, but teachers come out together. So this is a reflection of many different studios in different cities, actually. So we're grateful that you're here. Happy and Hale, my friends Matt and Alicia is here. They brought juice for tonight. I guess they brought summer juice, which is kind of the ode to summer, that last hurrah of juice. So please stop in and have some juice. And then at the table in the back, so we started this last week, an event we did, creating cards for Charlottesville. So there's paper, there's some markers. If you want to create something really quick, we would love to collect them. We're making a quilt, because you'll see the cards are kind of 4x4, and they'll make a beautiful quilt of love letters that we're going to actually deliver to Charlotte and hang out on the memorial. So if you have time to do that, please do that. Somebody tell me if I'm missing anything. I'm notorious for missing things. All right. Thank you. Let this be a practice that leads with you off of your mats tonight. Carry it with you. Ask questions. Be curious. Reach out to Patrice or myself or any of the teachers that you connected with tonight if you want to know more about how to navigate the intersection of your yoga practice and social justice and responsibility. We are here to inspire each other to action. Thank you all. Good night.
But my main message is to the parents of Trayvon Martin. You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. The idea held by generations of citizens who believe that America is a constant work in progress, who believe that loving this country requires more than singing its praises or avoiding uncomfortable truths. It requires the occasional disruption, the willingness to speak out for what is right, to shake up the status quo. That's America. Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea, pioneers who braved the unfamiliar, followed by a stampede of farmers and miners and entrepreneurs and hucksters. That's our spirit. That's who we are. We're Sojourner Truth and Fannie Lou Hamer, women who could do as much as any man and then some. And we're Susan B. Anthony, who shook the system until the law reflected that truth. That is our character. We're the immigrants who stowed away on ships to reach these shores, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free, Holocaust survivors, Soviet defectors, the lost boys of Sudan. We're the hopeful strivers who cross the Rio Grande because we want our kids to know a better life. That's how we came to be. We're the slaves who built the White House, and the economy of the South. We're the ranch hands and cowboys who opened up the West, the countless laborers who laid rail and raised skyscrapers and organized for workers' rights. We're the fresh-faced GIs who fought to liberate a continent. And we're the Tuskegee Airmen and the Navajo code talkers and the Japanese Americans who fought for this country even as their own liberty had been denied. We're the firefighters who rushed into those buildings on 9/11. The volunteers who signed up to fight in Afghanistan and Iraq. We're the gay Americans whose blood ran in the streets of San Francisco and New York just as blood ran down this bridge. We are storytellers, writers, poets, artists who abhor unfairness and despise hypocrisy and give voice to the voiceless and tell truths that need to be told. It doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or where you love. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white, or Hispanic or Asian, or Native American, or young or old, or rich or poor, able, disabled, gay or straight. You can make it here in America if you're willing to try. And we remain more than a collection of red states and blue states. We are and forever will be the United States of America. And Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved